My entire life, I knew that there was a call on my life. I couldn't quite articulate and have the language to describe what I felt, but I knew that God had chosen me for something. My name is Ali Cash, and I have just graduated third year at BSSM. I was a registered nurse back in Australia. I worked in oncology for years, and I was surrounded by sickness. I was surrounded by death and despair. I would read the commissioning in Matthew 10 to raise the dead, to heal the sick, to cast out demons, to cleanse the leper. And I would be asking the Lord, like, God, if you've commissioned me to do this, why am I not seeing it? And I saw the incredible gift that medicine is to the world and to our patients. But I was hungry for the supernatural. I was hungry for the miraculous. I had come from just burnout, nursing. I was doing ministry. I was exhausted. But I came and I felt like the Lord, just layer by layer, just pulled away all of the heaviness and all of the disappointment, the pain, what I had seen people go through. My first year at BSSM was life-changing. It came around to January and it was Randy Clark week, and I didn't really know anything about Randy Clark, but what I had known and been told was it was this radical man that had travelled the world and been filled with the power of God to see the sick healed, see the oppressed set free. The Lord had invited me to lay some things down in the lead up to that week. And it was a lot of practical things too. And when I surrendered those things, it was hard, but when I laid those things down, I felt like everything that I'd been clinging on to lost its power over my life, lost its grip over my life out of fear, pursuing false comfort, all of these things. And so that week, I started experiencing the presence of God, like unlike I had ever. I was trembling under my breath. I was shaking. I didn't even know what was happening, but I knew it was Him. Day after day after day of that week, I was praying for people. I saw people healed through the laying on of hands. I felt the Spirit of God in new ways. I was feeling this crazy measure of love and peace and joy. And it was really what I know now is that was this awakening to who Ali really is. And I felt like I got reborn that week. I didn't really leave Australia feeling like I'm on fire for my nation, you know. But I came to BSSM, and so many of my encounters with the Lord were how He was going to use me in my nation and in the world, but specifically actually between Australia and America. I had this moment. It was in a school week, a regular school day. I was sitting in the sanctuary and we were in worship, and I'm just worshiping the Lord, and the Lord gives me this vision. And He gives me when you fly a long distance flight, you know, like from Melbourne to Reading to San Francisco, you see a flight map on your screen, and it has the route, you know, the route going from, you know, your origin and your destination. And it was that flight map, this vision, and then instead of the little plane icon, it was a flame, and the flame was in Reading, and it was moving to Australia, to Melbourne specifically. And the Lord said to me a whole bunch of things. But basically he told me how he was going to use me to unlock an outpouring in our nation and build a bridge between Australia and America. And in that moment, I just broke. He spoke all of this godly identity over me. Then I started experiencing this like crazy impartation of power. And my arms started to go completely numb. And I fell to the ground. And that was where the Lord was just like, he was ripping off any fear of man. He was ripping away like any false humility. I was scared of being misunderstood, of looking weird or crazy. But I felt like in that moment, like God commissioned me to build this bridge and to be a key, to be used for his glory and his power and his love and his joy to fill me and to flow through me. If you have a dream in your heart to go after more of him, to experience his presence, his power, his joy, I want to encourage you. Nothing is impossible with God.